Sport class is coming up. Sport class, one of the flashiest, most eye-popping classes of all. How can you build a plane that goes 400 miles an hour in your garage? Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Rob.
Absolutely, Tommy. This is really exciting, and what's great about this class is this really is a 250 to 400 mile an hour research and development class. What gets experimented and developed here for the racing ends up on your family general aviation aircraft in the not too distant future. So it's so exciting. Lots of innovation. The rules allow a lot of unique things. They can use turbocharging, exotic fuels, all kinds of things are able here. And here we're going to look at some of our starters, Tommy.
Absolutely. This is Sport 1D, the D class, right under the bronze level. Top qualifier is race number 80. Skylar Piper from Palos Verdes Estates in California, race number 80. Of course, these planes taking off, and they will go in formation, fly around back of the course here, and descend upon it for the first full-length big lap.
Yeah,
out of the 8 laps they run.
Yeah, and most of these airplanes they're based on home-built aircraft, and so this is a Vans RV-8, a home-built, very nimble, whole series of Vans RV aircraft, and there's one there. And there's our race 60 with D. Child.
D. Child, a Glass Air 3 this Tuesday. Race number 60 in the gray and the blue.
Beautiful paint scheme on that airplane as he gets airborne there.
You can see the retractable aircraft and some of our models and some not. Jason Roby in race number 76. Jason Roby from Wickenburg, Arizona.
Great shot of another Vans RV-8 there for Jason, followed by race 54, Chris McMillan out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Another RV-8. He calls this one Navy 8. You can see the retro paint scheme.
Absolutely. Race 314, Scott Pruitt from King City, California. The F1 rocket known as Phantom Rocket.
Beautiful airplane there, and he's followed by another RV. This is an RV-4, one of the earlier models. This is race 35 at Sean Jordan out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Racing rivets.
All right, well, there's a story behind that. I just don't know what it is, right, but we'll get to that through the course of the week. There's race number 777, Lucky Sevens. We're here where the action is in Reno-Tahoe. That's Guardian Angel, race number 77, Matt Ramsey from Lake Tahoe, California.
Yeah, hometown racer right there. And followed beautiful airplane here, another RV-8, the Millennial Falcon, Tommy Ishii, racer 744 out of Roseville, California. Tommy, those are our competitors here in Sport Heat 1D, and it's going to be exciting. They're airborne now. There you can see them starting to form up, and they follow the pace plane in. So let's see where they go here.
Yeah, they'll be down, descending on us just momentarily, a few minutes away. Let's talk about those race specs and how wide they are with the the class president, Bob Mills.
Hi, I'm in sport class. It's a very unique class, probably one of the most varied classes here at Reno. We are basically the race class for experimental amateur built and experimental exhibition aircraft. We have 1,000 cubic inch limit to our engines, but all other modifications are fair game, and we have a really, really varied field. It's really fun. We have airplanes that are going from just over 200 miles an hour to just over 400 miles an hour, some of the fastest propeller-driven aircraft here at the Reno Air Races.
Sport class very popular, growing in popularity with each passing year out here just because of the lack of limits. I mean, it's out there on the edge. It's tech all the way.
Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. Exotic fuels, nitrous oxide injection, water injection, anything really is allowed here. Like you heard Bob say, 1,000 cubic inches is the limit, but the rest of it really is designed to allow innovation and allow that development to happen. Like he said, some of our fastest aircraft in this class can reach over 400 miles an hour. And with those kind of engines running on the ragged edge, a lot of attention during the race needed on the engine.
Oh, man.
The racers in this class we're going to see are going to be closer to 250 miles an hour or so, and they're getting close now, Tommy. They took off just a second ago, as we saw. They circle Peavine Mountain out behind us, and they get formed up on the leader there, and they're all lined up, and then they come down the chute as they're headed into the race course, line abreast, and they're going to make that first lap is going to be a little bit bigger than the others. In the Sport Battalion class, they fly that first lap as kind of a get onto the course, and then they circle into the smaller actual race course that they're going to fly. It's going to be really exciting. We look at the qualifying times here. They're all very closely matched. It should be really exciting.
Could be some good racing. This would be 8 laps total for just over 40 miles. and it will go by very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got
and they'll be a little bit, as you say, compressed, so the racing will be complicated by that a little bit. So some good racemanship is in order. And we have a favorite. We have a top qualifier at 244 miles an hour, Skylar Piper, in race number 80. But everyone's fairly close, at least the top 5 or 6 positions.
Yeah, Skylar and the Miss Ruby S. What a great name, Skylar Piper, to be flying in air racing, right? I mean, I think I'm not sure what came first. If the name drove the pilot to racing or the other way around.
Yeah.
But man, great combination there. And this ought to be a really exciting class. The opposite of a spec class, Tommy. Really, we talked about the innovation. So those relaxed restrictions really do allow innovation. I know a lot of the propeller manufacturers, for example, work with the pilots and the crews in this class, and they develop their composite propellers. And what you see flying on the course here this week is what you will see, come to the general aviation market and be improvements on general aviation aircraft across the industry in the coming weeks, months, and years.
Going to have racing at all levels for you during the course of the week. A, B, C, and the D class we're going to look in on right now. We can hear them roaring up in the background very quickly. They will be descending on the race course, heading for that signal pylon out there, which will start this first long lap. And as you say, Rob, they will have shorter laps after that.
Absolutely, Tommy. So they're in their respective lanes here, and they're going to stay in those lanes. Now they can accelerate out in front of their peer, and forward and back, but they can't make a turn until they get to that first guide pylon when they make that first turn in. Here you see a great shot of them there as they've come in line abreast. And so the race is on. You heard the pace plane tell them, gentlemen, you have a race. So they have accelerated. They're making their way to that guide pylon. And, man, Tommy, the adrenaline's coming up. The pressure's up. They're looking at all those engine instruments. And remember, they've got all kinds of injection and turbochargers and things. A lot of attention needed to the engine on this racing. And there they are. Race is on. We're making our first left turn at the first pylon.
It looks as though that may be race number 60, Miss Tuesday, the gray and blue Glass Air 3.
You can see them making their way around. Remember, this first lap, Tommy's a little bit bigger than, or larger and longer than what they will once they settle into the medallion course here in just a minute. But they're still, the race is on. We're still jockeying for position in, like all classes here. To pass, you have to pass on the outside. So you see, look at that, 4 aircraft. You could put a blanket over all 4 of those, Tommy. It really is incredible. Now they're settling in as they come down the Valley of Speed to the northwest of the runway here. There's another great shot from our pylon cams, and you can see the 50-foot minimum altitude in this class. Great visual of that here.
That's a new shot. That's the jackrabbit shot. I like that one right there. Very, very good. Yeah, that's going to be race number 60, Skylar Piper. No, I'm sorry, that was race number 60, D Child out in front. But our top 3 pretty well tight together. That'll be very apparent as they come down final stretch to start into our shorter course there. Race 60 out in front, Miss Tuesday.
And right closely behind, we got a heck of a battle for second there, Tommy, between race 80 and race 76. They are very close, and you can see everybody beginning to jockey for position as they head around pylon number 1 there. And they settle into the actual race course now for the Sport Medallion class.
About half the distance of the normal course that the rest of the formula, the rest of the sport class will race during the course of this week.
There you see a great shot of the Glacier there in the blue camouflage type. Gray and blue camouflage of race 60 in our leader. And you can see right behind him, race 76, Jason Rovey. Look at that, Tommy. He's, from this angle, making a run on him and as they head down the far part of the course there. They're beginning to pass some of the lap traffic there, you can see. And, again, you have to pass on the outside. So you see our leaders. You see race 76 has taken over and passed, and he's in the lead now. And but they both are having to pass the slower traffic in the red and white aircraft.
Good battle right now going on between race number 80 and race number 60.
Yeah, I was mistaken, Tommy. That was
our top qualifier.
That was
Skylar Piper.
Yep, absolutely.
So our top 3 qualifiers locked in a big battle right now. And plenty of more time for this one to play out as they go around our Shorter course here. We're into lap number 3 already. It goes by very quickly.
Yeah, they're starting to settle in here as the aircraft. Now, these aircraft, unlike our 2 races we've seen before, Tommy, with fixed pitch prop, these aircraft have constant speed propellers, or it's a variable pitch. So that is adjustable as the engine RPM and torque changes.
Yet another thing to keep up with for these pilots who are flying a complicated aircraft.
Let's look here at there's a race within the race. Back in 5th place, we got that great Navy retro paint scheme for race 54 there, and he's coming around the top. You can see passing on the outside.
He was going around race 314, I believe, Scott Pruitt.
And there's back to our leaders. That's race 76.
Jason Rovey.
Jason's really got that RV8 race 76 moving today. He's made his way around the traffic, but man, what a battle for second between race 80 and race
76, yeah. Already more than halfway through of our race, 2/3 of the way through of our race for our leaders right now. Jason Rovey out on top, and then, of course, battling for second, Skylar Piper in race 80 and D. Child in race 60.
As we go down the far end of the course there, the backstretch, they get a small break, Tommy, where the aircraft can roll wings level for just a few seconds before they roll back in and come around the backside and pylons 6, 7, and 8 as they come around.
That's the battle right there for second place. Race 80, Skylar Piper holding down second and just right behind the Child in race 60.
Race 60, yeah, great comparison to the 2 airframes there. There's our leader in in Jason Rovey in race 76 in that Vans RV8.
All of our top 3 qualified very closely, and that's playing out here.
Watch these 2 as you see race 80 and race 60 as they come across. Even they are just neck and neck as they came across the start-finish line there, Tommy.
Skylar Piper hanging on for dear life to that second place spot right now, and could be that Jason Rovey's found a little something. Of course, he's found the best air. That's enabling him to advance his cause with each passing lap. They're going by fast.
Yeah, absolutely. As they've settled into the just right at 5 mile course here for the Sport Medallion. They're making their way around the backside there, and second and third is just really close race.
Boy, look at them going down. Dipping down, gaining some speed there, and both of them getting the effect of that and not changing their aspect, their
and it gives
separation much.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget the minimum altitude 50 feet here, and that's what that can is at the top of the pylon that we talked about earlier. There you see a great shot of our leader coming around the pylon there from our pylon cams, and the 50-foot altitude is that big can is there so the pilot can understand that helmet can't be below the can, so that's how they easily reference without having to look at a gauge to see where 50 feet is. But low, fast, and turn left is how you make it to the winner's circle here.
That's how you get over here in Reno. Jason Rovey, race 76, stretching out his lead there. Still that great battle going on for second place between race 60 and race 80.
Yeah, they are just neck and neck in race 60, just staying on that inside shorter course, and that's turning out to be the advantage right now, Tommy, is that longer course just is not enough speed to make the pass, but it's right there. Any mistake from race 60 and D. Child, and he's going to jump right past him.
Our top 3 planes in there on a white flag lap right now.
Remains in that position again. He could pass him going across the home pylon on the final lap.
There you see our leader, Tommy, coming around the final pylons here as he makes his way around the course again. We're in lap 6 of 8.
That was wrong. It was not the white. The next one will be the white.
He's coming to the white flag this time by.
Yep,
yes, sir.
Right.
So you see him come around that final pylon 8 and 9 as he makes his way here in front of the home stretch, and that great shot. It looks like they're a little closer than they are, but as the camera moves, you'll be able to see our leader pull out in front, and then there's our battle for second and third. It continues to be just a fantastic battle. There's our leader right there as he's passing some of the slower traffic, making his way around, but that is the white flag, Tommy, as we head into our final lap. And there's race 60 and race 80 as they make their way around for second and third.
Skylar Piper in race 80 still able to hold off D Child, but just by a little. This is a great battle as they are in their final lap here for second and third. D Child.
Tommy, now's the time to make the move as they head down the backstretch there. As they make their way, our leader is going across. So you see some of the aircraft. There's our battle for second and third. And you could see race 80s continuing to be able to hold the lead just a little bit.
Race 60 up and be able to gain a little ground here as a drop down in altitude, and here we go.
Tony, these aircraft, remember, are approaching 250 miles per hour in this portion of the class, and you see that all-out, very equal match between those two, and there's our leader, race 76. Coming around the final pylons, headed to the home stretch.
Had the luxury of flying wide of everybody in this final lap or two. Such was his lead as he put in 6 really fast laps there.
Yeah,
Jason Rovey.
You don't want to cut a pylon and then mess up. He's done such a good job of leading, and there he is, Tommy.
White flag,
It's the white flag there. Sorry, we were 1 lap off.
Well,
So
still
that's
one.
the white
Okay,
flag.
Now we got it. Now we got it straightened up. So still we have this good race going on for second place. D Child will not let Skylar Piper rest for 1 second here. Those two are going to battle it out probably till the final millisecond of this race.
Absolutely. So this truly is the last lap, and our apologies for being 1 lap off, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
but this
it just
truly
seems so
is
fast.
Yeah,
It just seems so
absolutely.
fast.
It's been so exciting, neck-to-neck racing, and those battles as they go around. You see a little bit of separation now between those two on these pylons, and we'll come back to that here in a second. But there's your leader, race 76, as he makes his way down, wings level in the back, heads into those final few pylons. And now this time, Tommy, he's really truly coming to the checkered flag.
Just got to kind of auto his way in here. Just play it easy, take it home.
That Vans RV-8 is such a great airplane, Tommy. I know several people that own them, and they fly like little mini fighter jets. They are just spectacular aircraft, home built in your garage, and here comes our leader, race 76.
Checkered flag for race 76, Jason Rovey, your unofficial winner here in Sport Heat 1D, and we have got a great battle that is not done yet. Second and third, race 60 and race 80. Looks like it's going to be Skylar Piper hanging on.
Oh, man, here he comes.
Watch, watch.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Tommy, that one's too close to call, I'm telling you.
You can make a case that D Child in race 60 ran down race 80, and Skylar Piper at the very end. We'll have to wait for the official results on that one. What a great race within a race.
And look at these finishes here. Wow, it's just all through this class, Tommy, as we made our way to the checkered flag. Intense racing all across the course. This was a great race today.
Be interesting to see our winning times here for all of our top 3. It seemed to be very, very fast out here.
We're going to have a slow-mo finish there. And here we go. Look back at the race as it got started. You saw pretty good groups as they made their first times around the course. And race 80 there had a good lead right at the beginning.
Yep, great start. Never able to get very much ahead of Jason Rovey in 76, and it would be just a matter of time.
But there you see race 80, race 60, and race 76 were all 3 bunched up. At the start, they swapped around a little bit, and eventually race 76 and Jason Rovey was able to pull it out front. Here you see him beginning to make that pass on the outside here, race 80 and race 60. And once he got by, then he stayed out front the rest of the way. There you can see him pulling out in front of race 80.
Was the top qualifier by about 4 miles an hour. Was race 80 Skylar Piper, but Jason Rovey qualifying about 5 miles an hour back. Found something today that was not there in the qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely flew faster today. And here you can see some of our other racers. Great retro Navy paint scheme here on this aircraft. Race 314 as well there in the background, the Phantom Rocket. So close racing all across the course, Tommy, the entire race long. Here you see the Glass Air and the Vans side by side between race 60 and race 80. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Tommy, this is the fastest motorsport on the planet, and there it is right in front of us.
And the fastest of all in 1D, Heat 1D of sport, was that man right there, Jason Rovey from Wickenburg, Arizona, taking it home. Built up a good lead after about 6 laps in the final 2. We're just finishing out the parts of the puzzle. But what a finish there. Let's take another look at it. I don't know. That angle is a little deceptive right there. It may have favored race 60 D Child. We'll just have to wait for the final.
Here's the slow-mo version, Tommy. Let's see if we can figure it out. Well, obviously the officials here at Reno will make the determination, but let's see unofficially if we can see. Oh, that camera's not going to be exactly lined up with the start-finish line, but it appears from our angle that race 60 D-Child might have won, but boy, Tommy, it's just too hard to call.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We'll wait for the official call on that. Most likely our official winner, unofficial as yet, was Jason Roby. There he is right there, race 76. Your Sport Heat 1D champion, running a magnificent race.
Yeah, absolutely. And that beautiful Vans RV8 just about to set down there. Very docile aircraft, Tommy. They're great aircraft for this class because there's a great airframe that's great flyer. Like I said, it's very nimble like a little fighter jet. Here you can see it. This is tail dragger configuration. It's just very gentle as it lands, and he does a great job of setting it down there. But, man, what a race did he run. Jason Roby had to fight his way through a couple aircraft there at the beginning, but once he got out front, Tommy, he just ran away and won it. There's our unofficial results.
Unofficial results, our first look at sport for this special week in the desert here. And Jason Roby, our third-place qualifier, coming up and winning this thing in race number 680. Our top qualifier, Skylar Piper. So that's the way that worked out. Chris McMillan, still, again, this is unofficial. It's still going to subject to a little more scrutiny. Race 54, Chris McMillan in fourth. Scott Pruitt, race 314. The Phantom Rocket in fifth place. Racking Rivets, I think it's, I can't remember. The Racing Rivets,
Racing
that's
Rivets.
what it is.
Yeah, it's Racing
Sean Jordan
Rivets.
In race 35, Matt Rabsey in race 777, and Tommy Ishii in the 8th spot in the Millennium Falcon, not to be confused with the Millennial Falcon.
There you go.
No,
right?
no, he is in the Millennial Falcon.
Right, in our graphics, there's our, right there. Look at him waving to the crowd. The crowd here is just so excited, Tommy. For those of you not here, the crowd here early in the morning got quite a show here, and there you can see our winner, race 76, Jason Roby, waving to the crowd as he taxis in. And he's going right in front of us here, Tommy. We're getting a great look at that airplane. Beautiful airplane.